What a mess! A highly anticipated debate at the prestigious Oxford Union, set to tackle India-Pakistan relations, has collapsed into a full-blown public spectacle of accusations and finger-pointing. What was supposed to be a rigorous intellectual exchange ended in what one Indian speaker called a deliberate Pakistani gambit to dodge the discussion entirely. Let's break down exactly what happened. The motion on the table was a spicy one. This House believes that India's response to Pakistan is a populist strategy, sold as security policy. The stage was set for a major showdown. But just hours before the debate was scheduled on November 27th, it all fell apart. Indian lawyer and speaker J. Sai Deepak took 2X, formerly known as Twitter, with a detailed account that paints a picture of chaos and what he alleges was outright deception. His story directly contradicts the official statement from the Pakistan High Commission in London, which claimed that it was the Indian side that backed out. So, who's telling the truth? Let's look at the timeline. According to Deepak, the event was rocky from the start. He pointed out that key positions at the Oxford Union were held by Pakistani nationals, including the president and the treasurer, with one allegedly being the son of Pakistan's Minister of Defense Production. This, he felt, set a certain tone for the event. Then, just 2 days before the debate, the original high-profile Indian speakers, former Army Chief General Naravane and Dr. Subramanian Swamy, had to pull out due to unavoidable commitments. This sent the organizers scrambling for replacements. Deepak, who was already on board, managed to quickly bring in 2 other speakers from the UK, Manu Khan and Pandit Satish Sharma, to ensure the Indian side was well represented. They were ready to go. Then came the final bizarre twist. On the day of the debate, just after 3 p.m., Deepak says he received a call. The news, the Pakistani delegation, which included prominent figures like Haina Rabbani Kaur and Khawaja Muhammad Asif, had apparently not even landed in London yet. Hearing this, the Indian team, who were on their way, decided to abandon their journey to Oxford. Why travel all that way for a debate that wasn't going to happen? But the story gets even stranger. Deepak claims he later received confirmation that the Pakistani delegation had, in fact, landed and was already checked into a hotel right there in Oxford. This revelation prompted a blistering response from him. He accused the Pakistani side of deserting the battlefield, even before the battle begins, suggesting they lacked the courage to face a live, unscripted debate. He didn't stop there. He also leveled sharp criticism at the Oxford Union's leadership, accusing them of allowing the institution's reputation to be dragged in muck and effectively becoming a mouthpiece for the Pakistan High Commission's narrative. The sentiment was echoed by others. Indian politician Priyanka Chaturvedi also weighed in on social media, taking a dig at the Pakistani side. She wrote, "Pakistan is crying again over an Oxford Union debate. This is for the record. Once again, they have proved to be liars. Expecting any better from them was not even on my list." Now, let's hear the other side of the story. The Pakistan High Commission in London released its own statement, presenting a completely different version of events. They expressed regret that the Indian delegation, which they still listed as the original lineup of General Naravane, Dr. Swamy, and Sachin Pilot, had withdrawn at the last minute. In their view, this last-minute withdrawal handed the Pakistani side a walkover. They framed India's absence as a lack of confidence, suggesting the Indian speakers were unwilling to defend their country's security policy in what they called a neutral and intellectually rigorous debate. So, what are we left with? 2 completely opposing narratives. One side claims a deliberate no-show and deception. The other claims a last-minute withdrawal and a walkover. The Indian team says they were told their opponents weren't even in the country, only to find out they were already in Oxford. The Pakistani side says the Indians simply didn't show up. The Oxford Union, a historic bastion of free speech and debate, now finds itself at the center of a diplomatic spat. Instead of hosting a clash of ideas, it has become the scene of a farce, with both sides accusing the other of bad faith and running from a fight. It's a classic case of he said, she said, played out on an international stage. What really happened behind the scenes may never be fully clear. But one thing is certain. The real loser here is the spirit of open debate and intellectual exchange. What a shame! Thanks for watching. What do you think really went down at Oxford? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.